Welcome, friends, to this week's 3 Good Minutes. Last week, when I was at the nail salon, several of the customers and technicians got into an interesting conversation about the relationship between cancer and stress. A woman in the salon related that she had recently been to her oncologist, who confirmed for her that often our bodies sometimes produce cells with damaged DNA, but healthy immune systems should keep that in check. In healthy bodies, those cells either repair themselves or die off. Stress, the oncologist went on to say, can disrupt our immune systems, and cancer cells may then multiply unchecked. Of course, this process is all very complex. Yes, we could argue some people who are very stressed may never develop cancer, and some people who are calm and collected may. But scientific studies track the general trends. My parents both died of cancer at young ages. My dad died of it at age 43 and my mom at 63. My dad's own father died when my dad was only 16 years old. As the oldest son of 7, he had to leave school to help provide for his family. And then he lived through his first wife's being burned to death in a horrific car accident. I often wondered if these life stressors precipitated his genetic predisposition to colon cancer, which first occurred when he was 38 years old. I often wonder if my mother's pancreatic cancer was precipitated by the terrible stress of my father's illness and early death, which left her widowed with 3 young children to raise all alone. We can't be sure, of course, but the oncologist's reference at the nail salon the other day seemed to indicate this potential. So this brings me back to the topic of stress. We can't avoid many of the bad things that befall us in life, and we can't avoid grief, to be sure, but I think we can mitigate a lot of the other worrying we do. Both Jesus and the Apostle Paul have some things to say about that. Jesus in Matthew 6, verse 34 says, "Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself." Each day has enough trouble of its own. He seems to be saying that we ought to stay in the moment and not let our thoughts get ahead of ourselves. And then Paul says in Philippians 4, verse 6, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." Maybe we wonder what Jesus would do in the face of stress. We know that he would sometimes retreat to a quiet place away from the crowds where he would be recharged. We also know that he went to a garden, the Garden of Gethsemane, to pray when he experienced the overwhelming stress of what was before him with the cross. And we know that he brought friends with him then, hoping for emotional support, and he engaged in fervent prayer. So the take-home message today is this: we can't control everything for sure, but we know that stress and excess worrying may have health ramifications. We can, in fact, improve our mental and physical health through the mitigating practice of staying in the moment, praying, retreating at times, offering God thanksgiving and gratitude for what we have, and leaning on the emotional support of trusted friends. I pray for you today that you may find peace, joy, and health. Amen.